when your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet. Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? Darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. And baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day, and I just wanna tell you I am. So honey, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we are. When my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name, when my hands don't play the strings the same way, I know you will still love me the same. 'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. And baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory. I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways, and maybe it's all part of a plan. Well, I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. But baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud that maybe we found love right where we are. So baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Oh darling, place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud that maybe we found love right where we are. Or maybe we found love right where we are. And we found love right where we are.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and celebrating our 50th anniversary with us. It means a lot to us and our family, and it means so much that you were here to help celebrate it.
Paula and I met at the Shelter Room, which is a dance club in Congress Heights, D.C. In June of 1963. I was there with some friends, and Paula came in and with her friends, and I was on a dance floor with another girl, and I noticed over on the other side of the dance floor this sparkling light. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Wow. I left when the dance was over. The girl I was with, I left her on the floor and went over and asked Paula to
It was
dance.
the first time I'd ever been to a nightclub, and he came up and asked me to dance. This little guy, he was so cute, and he asked me to dance, and I thought, oh, well, you know, I can dance really good, so I can dance with this guy. I hadn't seen him on the dance floor, and he was a most magnificent dancer and left me like thoroughly confused in the middle of the dance floor because I could not follow him.
And then I talked her into coming out to the side because it was very warm in there, and we sat in the car and talked for quite a while. And from there, we exchanged telephone numbers, and I told her if she ever needed to have a friend that she should call me.
Anyway, he was just really somebody different that I had never dated before. Then he asked me if I wanted to go out to see his car and meet the blonde in his life, the other blonde in his life. And this was sitting on the dashboard. And I said, who is this? He said, this is your gondola. And from that moment on, I laughed the whole entire time I was in the car. He asked me if he could kiss me, which threw me off because no guy usually asks. They just inch in until they get there, you know. So I was like taken aback because of that, and I said, well, maybe, you know, I'll kiss you once. So we just pecked, okay, and then he asked me he told me if I ever needed a friend, that I could call him for anything.
One day she called and said, would I like to go on a boat ride with her and some friends?
And he said, I don't think so. I said, damn you. I said, you told me anytime I needed a friend to call you, and then I get up the nerve to call you, and you turn me down. Oh, well, wait. Now I know
And
who
there's
you are.
another thing about that too. She never knew. I never told her. When she originally called me and asked me to go with her, I had already had a date with another girl, and I had to break the date and then call her back. She never knew that.
Well, because you told me whenever I needed a friend to call you.
Well, you did.
And I got up enough nerve to call you and ask you to go out with me, and you turned me down.
Well, that's because I had another date.
It really hurt my feelings.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. But I made up for it, right?
Yeah, you did.
And I went up on the bow of the boat and laid down, fell asleep in a chair. She went below to change, and she came back up and came up on the deck where I was and basically woke me up. And the motion of the ocean, the sun, the breeze, and a two-piece bathing suit hooked me long.
No.
I was hooked.
And David was one of these boys that was so different from anyone I'd ever dated. He did everything. And I used to have my mother watch the window when he was coming to tell me what to wear. I'd be upstairs getting dressed. She goes, he's got Bermuda shorts on today, so I'd put on shorts and a top, you know, and sandals. And then I just never knew. He was so unpredictable. He wouldn't tell me. I'd ask him, where are we going? He'd go, you'd like to know, wouldn't you? Little innuendos. We were out on this date, and he was driving to the party in Tantallon. And on the way, he knew of a little spot at a junkyard to stop and kiss a while. So he pulls in there, and it's like 7 degrees outside, okay? I want you to need to know that. And we sit there for a while and talk and kiss a little bit, and then he goes, well, we better go. We're late for the party. So he got stuck, and he goes, I'm going to go out and put a board under the tire, and I want you to just stand on it. So he puts the board under the tire, and I go to stand on it, and I almost fall, and I get mud on my hands. I mean, it was really muddy. So he's underneath the car trying to get the traction, getting the board just right, and I'm standing on the end of the board, and I went, ew. And mud went right in his face. So he stood up and shook his head and then started throwing mud at me. So we had this like mud battle. And we never could get the car out. And it is so cold and we're full of wet mud. And we start walking down this dark, dark road. And a pack of dogs starts to come after us. And he growled at them really loud, and they ran away crying, you know. And I thought, that was a pretty good feat. He really is my hero, yeah. And then finally, this little Vietnam, what is it called? Volkswagen stopped.
Along comes a little Volkswagen.
Mom said it was a Vietnam. Not a Volkswagen, but a Vietnam.
I couldn't remember.
Along comes a couple in a little Vietnam, a little Volkswagen that had been in the same situation apparently.
And because they saw the mud all over us, and they were all muddy too, so they knew what had happened to us. So they took us to David's house, and that's when I met his mother for the first time. I was covered with mud. Oh God! Grandma Wagner looked at me like, what's she been doing?
We decided that we should get married. 1965, 88, we got married.
My mother helped me get ready for the wedding, and I don't know what took so long. And I was a half hour late for the wedding. And your father was stuck in this little room with the minister telling corny jokes, and he thought I'd stood him up. So we finally got the wedding over with and had a really nice reception. And his father danced with me and got his feet tangled up in my wedding gown, and we both went flying on the floor and slid. Thank you. I've been a klutz since I married your dad.
Since then.
Since then. 50 years.
Well, in the wedding party I had Charlie, my best man, friend from high school, junior high school, and another friend from school, Barry Neal. As one of my groomsmen, and the second groomsman was a friend of her Paula's
my
sister.
best friend Doreen was my maid of honor, and then her sister, and then my sister who was 11 years old at the time. I just can't do this right. I'm so silly. Oh my God.
My entire family was there, which was very unusual because my mom and dad had been divorced for many, many, many years. It's the first time they'd seen each other in probably 25 years. And my two brothers were there with their wives. We had my sister-in-law's brothers were both there. Of course, Paula's mom and dad were all there. And the reception was at a church.
So finally the reception was over, and we went home to our apartment. And we were so excited about having our own place, we didn't want to go on a honeymoon. We took weekends, and we go up to the like Blue Knob, places to ski, and put champagne bottles in the snow and eat honey dipped donuts and champagne in the morning for breakfast. But the first week we stayed home in the apartment, I wasn't really a good cook, you know, and I tried really hard. And your father liked things like pancakes with corn in them, really barfy stuff. It smelled bad.
Yeah.
And so I decided I'd make some pancakes from scratch. What I thought went into a pancake, right?
Oh my God.
So I put the corn in there, made you know, all the flour, eggs, milk, you know, and a little salt. And it looked pretty good. The batter looked pretty good, and I put it in the frying pan, and I went to flip it and toss it up in the air to being funny, and it fell on the floor and bounced across the floor and landed on your father's foot.
When we were doing whitewater rafting the first time, we went to the Youghiogheny River in Maryland, and we all got dumped out of the boat. And as we were collecting each other, in an area, I ended up on the bottom.
Then we fell out of the boat, and I was standing on this mossy rock. I thought it was your father's head, though.
We ended up, one of the couples, Linda and Noel Odom, bought a piece of property down at Lake Caroline off of Route 75 heading towards Richmond. And we went down there on a regular basis because the children had come along. And the place that we were going to water ski at Woodbridge, Virginia was too dirty for the kids, according to the women. And here we are today, 50 years later. We argue and fight, bicker, just like most couples, but we always end the day in some kind of crazy situation where we end up laughing. She hollers at me, I holler at her, but it's nothing serious, it's just part of life. And here we are today, getting ready to celebrate 50 years, which I can't understand why she put up with me that long, because I'm not the easiest man in the world to deal with. But I love her, I always have.
Thinking about people that are watching this, what do you think is some secrets to success for having a long marriage? 50 years is a long time.
Well, initially I think it was a situation where it was my time, her time, and our time, allowing each of us to do what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it, and then getting together to do things mutually.
I believe your father's right. We gave each other our own space.
Yeah.
Because we were only in our 20s when we got married. He was 23, I was 20. And that's still young to get married, I think. And we didn't have any children for 3 years. We had lots of time to play and do things. We did everything.
I guess. Well, I wanted to ask y'all one more thing. You know, thinking about all the time you've spent together, 50 years, you know, what do you want for the future?
Not another 50 years, I don't think I
No,
I don't think I can handle that.
Oh, we were sitting here talking the other day, and both of us got all teared up. He was saying that he hopes that when one of us goes, we go together, because he doesn't, nobody would be able to cook for him like I do.
Who's gonna feed me, yeah.
Yeah, that's all he's worried about is his stomach.
And
Anyway.
I don't really think that either one of us could make it alone after 50 years. It would be really, really, really devastating situation. So.
Stop.